And then the pastor asked,
"Do you take Collins to be a lawfully wedded husband?"
I remained silent, and people started looking at each other with confusion. I then took a deep breath and shouted, "I can't marry a man who plans to kill me." The guests at the wedding gasped in disbelief and shock, and Colin's face contorted with a mixture of shock and anger. Before anyone could react further, the church door swung open and a dark-skinned woman entered, her face bruised and accompanied by police officers. "There she is!" the woman shouted, pointing at me. "She attacked me! Arrest her!" My name is Angela, but you can call me Angie. I was the type of woman who used to say phrases like, "Men are dogs, men are warthogs," any bad name that you can think of when men frustrate you. Men in this city have shown me wonders. From lying to me, cheating on me with my friends, the men I have dated have showed me trouble. And whenever I discover their betrayal, like the drama queen that I am, I will give them a dose of their own medicine. I would either break all the expensive things in their house, including TV, expensive glasses, or mix their foodstuffs together. Like this one time I mixed all the rice in his house with sugar and salt. And there was this one time I interchanged his side chicks for numbers so that he would mess things up and he lost them both. And the worst one is when I got back with him only to make out with his friend so that he would feel what it feels like to be betrayed. But everything changed when I met Collins. One day, as I was heading out of the church after the service, I had someone tap me, and so I turned around and I saw this handsome, well-dressed man. He smiled at me and said, "Excuse me, madam, you forgot your umbrella at your seat. I wouldn't want you to be rained on, especially in this cold season." "Oh, sorry, by the way, my name is Collins. What's your name?" And that's how it started. We would meet during the church service and praise the Lord together. We started becoming close and we went to several dates, and Collins was like no man I have ever met. He was kind, considerate, friendly, and we understood each other. Collins met me when I was broken. I had no self-esteem, self-love, but he taught me how to love myself. He bought me books to help me with my self-esteem. He told me to look at the mirror and affirm to myself that I was beautiful and that I deserve good people, good men. I had fallen in love with Collins and he loved me too. And so we started dating. Our dating life was perfect. Of course, we had problems here and there, but we solved them immediately because we were a team. The happiest day of my life was in our 7th month of dating when Collins proposed to me. It was during my birthday when Collins got on his knee and proposed to me in front of everyone. People looked at me with curiosity, like, will she say yes or no? I said yes, and everyone was happy and clapped for us. Of course, I had to say yes. Collins was my guy, my best friend. After several weeks, I took Collins for the introduction, then he paid my bride price, and we started planning for our wedding, which would happen on our 1-year anniversary. The wedding preparations went well, and within no time, it was my wedding day. I stood in front of the mirror, my reflection shimmering in the bridal gown that had taken months to perfect. My mother had tears in her eyes, proud of the daughter she had raised, soon to be married to Collins, a man she believed to be perfect for me. But behind my smile lay a turbulent storm of emotions. A few weeks before this wedding, I had discovered something about Collins, and I wasn't sure if he was the man I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. But then I saw how happy Mom was. She had been praying for me to get married every day, and I knew I had to do it. How could I embarrass her in front of all these people she had invited for the wedding by calling the wedding off? As I walked down the aisle, Collins looked at me with adoration as he smiled at me, but my mind was racing. The ceremony went well, and people were happy and excited as they sang and danced. When it came time to exchange vows, my heart pounded loudly in my chest. And then the pastor asked me, "Do you take Collins to be your lawfully wedded husband?" I remained silent, and people started looking at each other with confusion. I then took a deep breath and shouted, "I can't marry a man who plans to kill me." The guests at the wedding gasped in disbelief and shock, and Colin's face contorted with a mixture of shock and anger. Before anyone could react further, the church doors swung open and a dark-skinned woman entered, her face bruised and accompanied by police officers. "There she is!" the woman shouted, pointing at me. "She attacked me. Arrest her." The police moved swiftly, and I was handcuffed as the guests watched in stunned silence. At this point, I was so angry and I shouted at the police, "I am not going anywhere unless you arrest this dark, shameless woman and my so-called husband-to-be." Hey! People gasped in disbelief. "Yes, I beat her, but first, let me tell you everything," I said as I stood in front of everyone. A month before this wedding day, I noticed that Collins here was behaving differently. He started taking late-night calls in hushed tones, and sometimes he stepped out of the bedroom when he thought I was asleep to talk on the phone as he whispered. And then he started frequently stepping out to meet friends in quotes that I had never heard of. I dismissed it at first, chalking it up to wedding stress, but my instincts told me something was amiss. One night, I stumbled upon a series of late-night messages on Colin's phone sent to someone he had saved as John the Carpenter. The messages were intimate and suggested more than just a professional relationship. My heart sank. Is he interested in men? I first thought. But no, he didn't show signs of that. I couldn't confront Collins because he would just deny my accusations. There was only one way to find the truth: by hiring a private investigator. The investigator, a seasoned professional named Mr. Mark, was discreet and efficient. Within 2 weeks, he returned with information that shattered my world. I couldn't believe the evidence he presented to me. Collins had another life, a wife named Naomi, and a 3-year-old son. And this woman here is Collins' wife, I said as I pointed at the dark-skinned woman, tears on my face. At this point, Collins' mouth was wide open as if asking when I had become so smart. Collins tried to run away, but the police caught him, and then I continued. As I was saying, the pictures were undeniable. Collins laughing and playing with his child in the park, sharing tender moments with Naomi, his wife. My heart ached with betrayal, but the worst was yet to come. Mr. Mark had overheard conversations between Naomi and Collins, revealing a sinister plan which he recorded on his phone as evidence. Their intention was for Collins to pretend that he loved me and marry me so that he would gain access to my wealth and riches, and then they would eliminate me, leaving these two idiots to enjoy my hard-earned money. Collins' mask of innocence now shattered as chaos erupted in the wedding venue. "Please, my people, let me finish," I said as I calmed them down. This news devastated me, leaving me angry and betrayed. I told the people, tears running down my cheeks. I wrestled with whether to confront Collins or alert the authorities, but I feared they would flee before justice could be served. Desperate to protect myself and expose their sinister plan, I hatched a plan of my own. I reached out to Naomi, posing as an anonymous informer who knew about their scheme. I lured Naomi into a trap, confronting her in a secluded location. I lied to Naomi here that Collins was the one who told me about their plan and that Collins had fallen in love with me. That is why he confessed to me, so that there will be no secrets anymore in our relationship and our new marriage. My aim was to make her so jealous that she would be angry at Collins and confess about their plan without her knowing I was recording it. I told her about how Collins was romantic with me, how he loved me, and how he was going to leave her, and she fell right into my trap. She confessed about their plan in anger as she cast out Collins' name, saying that he had played her. And then she slapped me, saying that I was the reason her man Collins was leaving her. And that is when we started fighting. Blinded by rage, I snapped and attacked Naomi, physically assaulting her in a moment of fury. And this happened earlier today, and I panicked and fled the scene, hoping to regain my composure in time for the wedding. Everyone was shocked and they were angry as they shouted, "Arrest them! Arrest Collins and Naomi! They are thieves and murderers!" The police arrested Collins and Naomi for conspiracy to commit murder, and I was arrested for assault. The wedding guests had to go home, and they went home hungry for food, but they had taken enough drama for the day. In the days that followed, Mr. Mark gave the police evidence of the couple's conspiracy, and there was a long prison sentence waiting for them. My assault charges were dismissed as self-defense. Though my dreams of a wedding had turned into a nightmare, I knew I had escaped a far worse fate. I had learned to trust my instincts and the importance of standing up for myself no matter the odds. And yes, my heart healed and I found love again, and now I'm happily married with 2 kids. I hope you learned something from this story. Kwaheri!